So now on to the tutorial parts of this Criw Celf workshop, and we're going to be doing monoprinting today. So I'm just going to read to you what I've written about monoprinting, tell you a bit more about it. So we're going to be doing subtractive monoprinting this time round, and a monoprint is one of the most simple forms of printmaking. It involves setting a sheet of paper face down onto an inked flat surface and then drawing either directly onto that piece of paper or using a trace and then putting the trace on top of your blank piece of paper and then drawing on. And the pressure from drawing onto the paper will then lift the ink from the inked surface and transfer it onto the piece of paper. And then your image will be on the piece of paper once you reveal the print. I'd recommend for monoprinting keeping your work quite simple and sketchy. It works really well with like simple and linear style drawing, but everyone has their own unique style, so make sure you do what you do best, but try to keep it more on the simple side because it transfers much better into the style of monoprint, I think. For this workshop, I thought we could use the tracing method. I thought by doing it this way, you could get to know the methods quite well and you'll kind of get a rough idea of what your final outcome is going to look like beforehand. So for this workshop, I would like you to focus on the theme of rural life. So the people and the animals and the landscape of the countryside. Your monoprint should be a portrait of a rural person or animal in a rural setting. Before you make your print, you'll need to make a drawing of your character on a piece of paper. This will then be used as your trace to create your monoprint. So when you look at these images, do any of the people, their expressions, their clothing or animals stand out for you? Draw these out into your sketch pad or onto your bits of paper. You can choose as many elements from each image as you want, and you don't have to use every single detail, just pick and choose whichever stands out for you. One thing to definitely do is to make sure that your background is really quite simple and linear, with not too much detail. The character is going to be the main focus of this work, and for my example, I have used a very, very simple hillside backdrop with some lines in the background to represent wind. So now you should have a drawing of your final character in the setting that you have chosen, and this is going to be used in the monoprint process. So you're going to trace this onto a piece of paper to then create your monoprint. So now I'm going to do a step-by-step of how to create the monoprint. You may want to repeat the process if you aren't happy with the results the first time.